Hey folks, Dwayne from Grandpa's Garage here. Well, look what we have here. Oh my goodness. We're getting winter a little bit later than expected, but it's here. Let's see what's going on in the little shop that could. Oh, heat's on, that's a good sign. Okay, now since I last posted, we were working mostly on this driver's side, putting in the sail panel on this side. It's mostly welded in and ground down. I got some more welding to finish up on this side as well, but decided to take a little break from this side and move over to the opposite side. So, got our new quarter panel section on here. It's rough shaped in there and welded in. There's some finish welding to be done on it, and then of course a little bit more metal shaping just to try and smooth it up a little bit better. And now I'm moving on to the roof section with the sail panel and of course the belt line. Little adjustments on there. I'll bring you in a little closer, you can see what we're doing here. Now, basically at this junction, on the original body, the this belt line right here used to go straight back, right back into here, all the way to the back of the window. And of course, because now we're bringing in the roof line, which used to be at the very back of the car, and it's got a curve, we have to modify things slightly in order to accommodate this transition. So we've got it, it's just sitting there right now. There's some stuff that it's a little bit challenging to clamp into place completely, because there's this piece right here, and this piece right here, and this piece right here, and then of course the sail panel itself. And to try and clamp all that into place to weld, it's a little challenging. So some of it we can work at as we're going along with the welding. So we can see, like this thing here, we can pry the piece up and we'll get the alignment correct, and I'll do that with the welder so I can just tack it in place and that'll hold it. So it'll save me having to try and clamp it, because man, I got lots of clamps, but you know, you're still working, you got to work around the doorpost here and try and reach in there. Yeah, it gets to be a little bit challenging. So now the other thing is the sail panel. Now I've got the sail panel put in place. It's sized. It's been rough shaped. There'll be some metal shaping, minor, but a little bit of metal shaping as we're going along. And as you notice, here's something I didn't show on the last video when I was doing the other sail panel, is these little clips. Now these are called intergrip clips. Maybe what we'll do is I'll put the camera on the stand and I'll pull one of these clips out so I can show you what they're like. They're very handy. You can clip in and put a tack weld on either side because it's flush. It's perfectly smooth. There's no edge to catch there at all. So if you put a tack here, you could loosen the clip itself, move it down, put another tack, move it down, put another tack. And the only thing you have to do the odd time is, you know, when you're welding panels together, sometimes they tend to pull together, and you may have to, you know, just do a little cut there with the air saw or your grinder just to be able to move things down. But the important piece of these clips is that it creates this perfectly flush surface for you to weld on. So and it's not going to shift when you're welding. These clips will hold it in place. So hang on a second here. I'm just going to put you on the stand and we'll bring one of the clips so I can show you. Now, I'm going to try and do this. Not sure how it's going to be best. I think what I'm going to do, here, we'll do it like this, and hopefully this is something that you can actually see what I'm doing. So essentially, these, if you've never used them before, they have a blade which has an opening on it for some key stock. The key stock slides in there, and it holds the panel between the key stock and this clip right here. This is your leveling clip, and on the back side of it, of course, just a wing nut with a nut. And these were homemade, but they're kind of copies of Intergrip that were manufactured. So these are just made at home. It's a super simple thing to do, but man, they really they make the job a lot easier for holding things in place well, and having a level spot to start your weld on. So I'm just going to stick that back in place, and then we can move on. Alright, so I've already got my my welder set up, ready to go. Just got some new gas yesterday, and so I'm going to get my outfit on for welding, and we can start doing some tacking, and you can follow along, and hopefully this is something that, I don't know, hopefully it's interesting for you. And I'll probably make this video not quite as long as the last one. The last one was a little long in the tooth, but hopefully everybody got something good out of it. But there we go, I'll get all dolled up here. There we go. I'm sure this is a little more familiar sight for you than the other version. Anyways, we're going to start a couple little tacks and get this thing spotted in. Again, safety, safety, safety on doing anything with welding and grinding in a small garage. The other piece that I haven't mentioned before, but I do have in place here, is I always have a fire extinguisher, and this is about as cheap as you can possibly get. These are from Superstore. Easy peasy, they're cheap. Have one right nearby you. I also have on the workbench, I have a pressurized water sprayer, so it's ready to go at a moment's notice. Yeah, may not be a big garage here, but I sure don't want to lose it, so I'd rather be prepared with a fire extinguisher and water if I need it. Alright, let's get some taps going here. Okay. One of the unfortunate downsides to these clips is that little piece of key stock. When you go to move it, you're not hanging on to it like I just did. It'll fall down, then you gotta go dig it out, put it back in, and move on from there. Like anything, nothing's perfect, right? There. Extendable magnets, an old guy's best friend. See that just with that one tack alone, that the panel started tightening up already. So the other thing I'm going to do right now is just kind of saves you a lot of work and protects your clamps. Because I'm going to spray a little bit of anti-spatter. Just save myself some aggravation. Doesn't take much. Now the other thing I like to do is, as I'm doing a panel, I like to work it, kind of like from the top down, but from one side to another, because then if you have to make any adjustments, you're not buckling your panel, whereas if you tack here and then tack at the bottom and work your way to the middle, you're going to have a great big buckle in there almost every single time. This way, it helps keep that going away. And if you start from the top, the heat goes up, so it pulls away from the piece you're working on, and you're not getting a buildup of heat, which causes warping. So we're going to do a little adjustment on this other clip here as well. That pieced up. I like to give myself about 2 inches between tacks. So what I'll do is I'll go along, get that tacked all the way down to the bottom, and then I'll come back and start and do another tack. And we'll go between the tacks. Again, it limits the distortion in the panel. You will get warping, you will get distortion, but let's try and keep that to a bare bone minimum. All right, here we go. Kind of a slow, tedious process, but it's necessary if you want to do a decent job. No matter what way you do it, there will likely be one, or there will be, not likely will be, there will be some body filler needed. Step by step, just be patient, it'll come. Better than rushing it and create more work for yourself. Okay, so here's a case of what I mentioned before. As the panel tightens up, this joint right here is tightening right up where I can't even move the clip. So I'll try and pull this clip out, and we'll give that a little slice. And get it out. We'll begin. Okay. Okay, folks, it's going to get a little bit noisy here just for the cut. I find that with my very thin cutting disc that it works pretty good. The Blue Shield gas that I use helps the weld to float where you need it and stay there and not sink away from you. So it also has the property that it'll help to bridge from panel to panel sort of thing. So we'll give this a cut and then we'll hit some more tacks on here. Just realized what I was doing there. Gotta get some safety glasses. So one of the things I find so interesting is when you're doing these kind of jobs, don't know why it is, but you sure end up with having a whole lot of tools everywhere. Alright, here we go, some more tacks. Alright, now I can remove 3 of these clips because I can manage things just with the hammer or whatever. So we'll take these off, and then that gives me the flexibility to carry on with the weld in between each previous weld. And again, one of the little downsides of these darn clips is that these little key stocks, you gotta make sure they're tightened in there, otherwise you lose them, and then you gotta make some more key stock for it. So I find it better just to try and keep track of them. Tighten up. It's amazing, you know, because there's fairly small tacks, and you wouldn't think that it would have that much effect, but it's a fair bit of heat. Okay. All right. So we move the next one down again. Okay, incorporate. Now essentially, the blade on these intergrips, show you, right there, this is made from a piece of 18 gauge, and I find that that's a pretty good width to put for gap, and then you always got 18 gauge, and it's strong enough, like you're not putting a ton of force on these things, just enough to hold it together and hold it level. So go. Next. Okay. Now I can pull this other intergrip panel off, holder. Hopefully. Feel that panel tighten up a little bit. But we got it. Okay. So now I got to make another cut right in this area here. This is where the roof section meets the door post. I overlapped it as I was putting things together just so I can do a nice double cut there and get that down flush. So we'll do a little double cut. bouncing on me. Alright. I don't give up so easy. So now that piece, you can see me hammering a little bit on it. It's just to get the alignment so it's nice and flush. And sometimes what happens is the metal will have a memory and it'll spring back on you, so you can tap away at it and it won't go. And then your tendency will be to give it a good whack. But I urge you to hold back, just be patient, take time. You know, sometimes you just gotta think outside the box for these things. Give everything a little bit of a time to cool down a little bit. Be patient. You know, your pieces adjusted nicely. It's gonna save you a lot of work in the end. There's gonna be a lot more kind of force fitting around the belt line here, but we'll keep working away at it. And maybe what I'll do for now is, you kind of seen and got the idea of what I'm doing. I'll bring you back once I've got most of this all welded up, and I'll show you what our final result is. I still have one little piece, filler piece, that I got to do around the belt line here, do the blend in, so we have all our belt line lining up proper, and also this panel blending into there as well. So that'll be another thing that maybe I can spend some time showing you on here. But for now, we'll bring it back once I'm a little bit further ahead.